Okay, so let's get things started with the prelims, right? Well, the early prelims, to be precise. We have 4 fights, starting with the light heavyweights. It's Luke Fernandez against Rodolfo Bellato, right? Which interesting one, right? When you consider, right, we've got a debuter against, like someone that's had several fights in the promotion, right? Rodolfo Bellato Trator. He is 30, 6'3", 77.5-inch reach. Overall pro record of 12-3-1 with 1 no contest. Right, he is 1-1-1-1 in the UFC. Right, 1 win, 1 loss, 1 draw, and 1 no contest. Right, he came via the Contender Series on the second attempt, went 4-0 in LFA. He's coming off a loss in his last fight. Right, he lost a unanimous decision to Navajo Sterling. That was September last year, right? And before that was the no contest with Paul Craig. I think he had got caught with an up kick. It was an up kick or a groin kick, something like that, I think, right? If I remember, right? And then there was the draw to Jimmy Crute. So, he won his contract October 2023. Got to make his debut December that year. Won second round fight, Eor Pretoria, right? Ground and pound. Good win, But yeah, like from there, things just haven't necessarily been great, right? Haven't seemed to be great. Now, when you look at his, pre-UFC situation, he's won a good few by knockout. He's got subs, leg lock, rear naked, triangle. So he's got all of those things. It's just, I think what you've noticed in the UFC's gas tank isn't necessarily the best. And some of that fight IQ can put himself in situations that, not great, right? Not great. Like, I think there's a point where you thought he was clearly winning against Paul Craig, and then other point where he's kind of putting himself places where he doesn't need to be. Now, he is going up against Luke Fernandez, right? He is also 30, 6'1", 76-inch reach. So, kind of just slight advantage to Bellato with the reach, right? 1.5 inches and 2-inch difference on the height. So it's pretty close. Luke, though, is coming on a 12 win streak, 6 of those pro fights. You know what I mean? So this is his debut. Came via the Contender Series. Went 5-0 in CFFC. So he won that contract October last year. Beat Rafael Preginto, first round stoppage, early as well. 15 seconds in, got it done. Right? He's done grappling, beat Phil Hawes in a grappling fight at CFFC. So he's skillful, right? He's definitely a skillful dude. He's got knockouts, he's got first round, second round, so he's good with the hands, right? And he's done a lot of those CFC grappling matches, right? Beat Eric Anders in one. Though, you know, I wouldn't say Eric Anders is known for his grappling, but he has those. So he's coming in. A lot of potential, right? Unbeaten, so just feeling on top of the motherfucking world. You feel me? And as I said, Bellato not necessarily the best when it comes to decision making, right? So, and you know what I mean? I've said, right? I said from the jump, this year it's a changing of the guards, and we've been seeing that. We have definitely been seeing. I haven't always, you know what I mean, picked that way, which has cost me, right? But we're seeing that change. I'm going for Luke Fernandez to make a good statement debut. So then we jump to the featherweight. We drop down to the featherweights, right? We have Jeong-yeong against Gaston Bolaños. Something like that, I feel, right? So the Korean Tiger, Jeong-yeong, right? He is 30, 5'10", 73.5-inch reach. He's got a pro record of 11-3. In the UFC's 2-2. Came via road to the UFC. Right? He's on a 2-fight losing streak at the moment, though. Right, which, you know, it's one of them things, right? So he won that contract, I believe, in October 2022. Made his UFC debut. He got a split decision win in February 2023. Won his next match, beat Blake Bidder in February 2024, but then he went up against Hyder Emil. No shame in losing to the Hurricane, right? That was July 2024. And then May last year, he lost to Daniel Santos. You know what I mean? Santos is good, so, hey, no. Right? He's, you know, he's had a bit of a mix, right? Some subs, armbar is his go-to, right? But a lot of those were earlier on in his career. So, yeah, like, I think the knockout is, like with many, the way he likes to win a fight. So he's got a good few stoppages, you know? Good few stoppages. Now, he is going against Gaston Bolaños, right? He's 33, 5'7", 69-inch reach. Overall record of 8-5, coming off a loss in his last fight, right? He is also 2-2 in the UFC. So he made that debut, right, in April 2023, beat Aaron Phillips, unanimous decision. Lost his next one, Marcus McGee stopped him in a second, right? Beat Cavortius Romulus, November 2024, but then last time out, lost to Kwang Lee, got hit with a rear naked in May last year. All right, so yes, that is the thing. Now he's fought in Bellator, right? Yeah, he's won by some stoppage. He's got some stoppages and all and that kind of thing. He's had a lot of Muay Thai fights, some kickboxing, you know, so the kicks are there, right? Kicks are there. I think this is I think it's a close fight, right? I think this is definitely a close one. I do believe that Lee Jeong-yeong might have the better, submission attack. And Gaston has been caught with some subs. All right, so there is that, right? There is that side of things. Yeah, it's definitely a tricky freaking situation, really. They're both just very similar records and kind of, situations in there. They both, I think they lost like a week apart, right? So they've been out the same period of time. I think, people, I am going to go with Lee Jeong-yeong for the win. But yeah, it's a pick 'em, as they say. I think, it's a very close one. So we're then with the light heavyweights, right? Back with the big ones. And I think this is the last. Yeah, this is the last of the, big dudes up in there. We have Rafael Tobias against Diyar Nurgozhay. Something like that. Right? So, Diyar Nurgozhay, right, is 28, 6'2", 74-inch reach. Overall pro record of 10-2. You know what I mean? So he came via the Contender Series. Unfortunately, he's lost his 2 UFC fights. Okie dokie. So he won that contract in October 2024. Made his debut March 2025. Lost to Bronson Ribeiro. And he missed weight on that occasion. Got caught with a Kimura. His next fight, August that same year, Uran Satabaidiev hit him with an Ezekiel in the first. So, he's susceptible on the ground to a sub, Like, early in the career, he hit a leg lock, he hit a Kimura, but it's kind of like, what's that competition saying? One dude, that was his debut. Well, both of the dudes he hit with those subs in the first round, it was their debut fights, which I think, says a lot, right? Now, he is up against Rafael Tobias Bipolar. He's 22, 6'2", 74.5-inch reach. So he's 14-1 overall. Okay. He is coming via the Contender Series. He's on a 6-fight win streak. So yes, won that contract September last year. Rear naked, first round hit on Jair de Oliveira. So yes, rear naked choke. Right? So his fights before that, he's had guillotine, arm triangle, another rear naked, key lock, arm triangle. So he's he knows a sub. He's had a couple of knockouts, right? But it does look like the submission is how he likes to play things. So, people, right? That plays heavily into what we've just talked about, because Diyar, he's susceptible to a sub. right? How the fuck is this gonna go? Well, I think, right, Tobias gonna keep that win streak going. Woo! Okay, so our headline fight of the early prelims, we drop all the way down to the flyweights, right? We got Mudaerji against Jesús Aguilar. So, Jesús Santos Aguilera, he's 29, 5'4", 62.5-inch reach. He's got a 12-3 overall pro record. He came via the Contender Series. He's 4-2 in the UFC, coming off of a win. Won that contract August 2022. Beat Erison Herrera, third round guillotine. Right, made his debut February 2023. He made it against Tatsutaya, right? So yeah, he lost that first round armbar, but Tatsu, he's fighting for the title, people. You know what I mean? But after that, knocked out Shannon Ross first round, opening seconds. Right? Got a split over Mateus Mendoza. Then beat Stuart Nickel. He did miss weight, though. Caught Nickel with a gilly. Lost to Rafael Esteban next. That was February last year. But ended the year with a win. September beat Luis Garrel. Unanimous decision. Right? So, he likes a guillotine. He's had rear naked. He's, won by a rear naked. Right? Got caught with an armbar. So I think sub is the way Aguilar likes to win. Mudaerji, the Tibetan Eagle. He's 30, 5'8", 72-inch reach. 18-7 overall record. Woo! Right? He is 5-4 in the UFC. He's on a 2-fight win streak right now. Okie dokie. So, last time out, he beat Kevin Bajorez. That was August last year. Before that, he had a split decision win over Mitch Raposa, April last year. Right? He made his debut in November 2018. Lost to Luis Smoloka. Right? Bounced back in August 2019 with a win over Andre Sukamouth. Beat Malcolm Gordon first round knockout in 2020 November. Then he beat Zakaria Adaseyev January 2021. Right, but yeah, then he hit 3 losses back to back. Matt Schnell, Tim Elliott, and Charles Johnson. So very good opponents, right? Very good opponents. 2 of those losses were subs, right? A triangle and an arm triangle. And yeah, then he came back with those 2 wins. So, when you look at things, basically all these losses have been submissions. Every one of his losses has been a sub. But Mudaerji definitely comes to fight, right? Definitely comes to fight. I think he's alpha male, right? So he's at a camp, at a very good camp. This is a tough fight, right? I think I'm going to take Mudaerji for the win, though, people. It's tough, right? It's one of those ones. So several fights in these early prelims that I'm like, yeah, they're not the safest to bet on. But, yeah, I'm taking Mudaerji for the win. Should be a fun fight that takes us into the prelims proper.